Good morning to you. It's Daybreak at I-501 News Radio. I'm Jeff Slakey, 845. We take this time to talk with the Economic Development Council of Mason County. I'm happy to have Jennifer Baria in studio. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Oh, to you as well.
How do you deal with this fall back and the cold weather?
You deal with it by having Friday off because it's Veterans Day.
That works. A short week for many, I suppose.
Yep.
What's going on with the economic development of Mason County?
Quite a lot. I know that you guys have gotten kind of the brunt of all of our changes. So Monday mornings for us are kind of our way to refocus for you as well as for us. And I know that James has come in and been talking about all of the attraction activities that we've been doing for Mason County. And while that's important, it's as important to focus in on our local businesses. So I decided to come in and talk with you today about our business and retention program. So
is it easier to cultivate? I mean, it seems like it would be easier to cultivate the current crop of businesses that you have, do the work that you can do to help them boost their numbers while still thinking about bringing people in. But like you're saying, you got to focus on who's here already too.
Well, it's definitely, I wouldn't say easier because both of them require quite a bit of work, but you get a lot more benefit from cultivating locally. You get companies that are invested in the community, that know that, yes, permitting issues are going to come up, and that doesn't mean I need to start looking immediately for another place that's more business friendly. It means let's work with the local government, let's pull in the EDC, let's pull in the chamber, let's pull in that support that we need in order to build it more kind of organically. And so it's got a firmer foundation that they can build on for the future.
I see.
So it doesn't, it's kind of like a mindset difference. It's not immediately, well, we got to find a better place. This is the better place. I'm going to make it work for me. So it's just a bit of a different focus. So you need two kind of programs that hit both, because your attraction specialist isn't going to be the person who's going to go in and talk to your local business.
Right.
Our local business person, I don't know if Karen announced it, but we've made her our business outreach specialist. And she has been, I mean, she's amazing at it anyway. She loves our community and she loves our local businesses. So she's been doing quite a bit of research. We've had a program, but it's not been an official program. We just meet with the businesses as they reach out, and we know what their issues are and kind of research background like that. But with an actual BRE program, you are actively reaching out to the businesses. You're getting that information that you need in order to not have the business come and say, wow, I need help with this permitting. That problem's already been fixed because of the information that you got from those surveys and those outreaches that you do.
So besides permitting, what's kind of a major issue for business retention?
Workforce. Workforce is a big problem, not just here. It's a problem everywhere. There are quite a few employers that are saying, we don't have anybody that comes in that can pass a drug test. We don't have people that have the minimum skill set that we need in order to hire this. That was one of the reasons that the welding program came to be here in Mason County. Was we had, I want to say it was 6 businesses that all needed welders, but we had nobody here that was doing training, so they had to pull from other communities. Well, when you do that, you pull generally by offering more money. Well, when you are a rural community, that's not necessarily the draw that ends up happening. So what do? Let's train them up. We've got some very skilled people here. Let's use them to train up what we need in order to fill the positions that we have in our businesses.
Interesting.
Yeah. We've had quite a few conversations with a couple of restaurant people here in town that are kind of starting the thought process of maybe a training in how to run a restaurant. What do you need to look at? I mean, it's very easy to think, oh, yeah, it's food, I can do it. But I can run a business that's based around food, but you still need to look at the different impacts that are having. How much is the cost of food? Are you spending all of your money just buying food? Well, if that's true, then you can't pay for people to work there.
Right.
And vice versa. Are you paying all of your money to pay for people to work there? So you have to really increase your price on food. So it's a balance, and it's hard to hit that middle line. And there are people that go into business not knowing kind of the background side of it and need to develop those skills.
So instead of going to like the Wharton Business School or whatever and taking years to become a master with an MBA or something,
Right.
and I understand too that welding is a pretty specialized training program, but I feel like maybe you and I have talked about this, or other groups that have come in, and we've talked about the need to move to maybe not a standard set schedule of classroom, like a semester at the local community college, but a day workshop that
Right.
would maybe, I mean, you wouldn't obviously get a degree in anything, but you'd be certified in a sense that you'd have some skill set to offer somebody. Are those types of things that you're looking at?
It is. There are a lot of businesses that only need help in a specific area. So identifying that area is going to make our efforts and the business's efforts more targeted. So you're not going to do a class on, a very specific type of welding if nobody in our community uses it.
Right.
Let's get the basics out and you can train. Or maybe the next step to that is looking at the businesses that use welding and saying, do you need training on this or this? And I don't know, it's specialized, which means they do it in-house. Or maybe it's the next step for us to develop another certification in order to get that need filled. So
One of the ones that just popped into my head that a lot of communities, I think there's one coming up actually at the hospital, is like a CPR training.
Right.
And everybody in a business, at least one person, should have the skill set to know that. So if you have that commonality between businesses, well, we need somebody that knows how to run QuickBooks.
Right.
Well, so do we. Well, so do we. Well, so do we.
So let's do a
So-
financial
Okay.
training.
Yeah.
Let's look at what those are. I mean, you can say financial, but that again encompasses a broad view. So let's look at that. Do you need a bookkeeper? Do you need somebody who knows how to file taxes? Do you need somebody who can come in and just kind of review where your expenses are, what's going out of your company and what's coming into your company, and do an analysis based on that? There's a lot of questions that we have with startups about legal issues. Would it make sense to do kind of a broad topic legal, not necessarily a forum, but a way to answer those questions one-on-one that don't require a huge time constraint?
How do you get the answers from the businesses as opposed to calling 2 days before they have to close their doors?
Right.
How do you get to them beforehand?
I think that's where an actual dedicated program comes into play, because it might not. It's not triage. You're working with the company. You're building those relationships and those conversations. And the more I put into a company, the more they're going to give back, because they know I'm invested in their success. So if I just show up and say, hey, I'm Jennifer from the EDC, what can we do to help? That conversation is going to be different than them being able to say, I've worked with Jennifer at the EDC for 10 years. She's going to be able to help us with this. And they're going to hit us at the beginning of that problem instead of at the end where it's manic, let's get this finished or I have to close my doors. So being able to get those established patterns and those relationships in play in both ends of the county, reaching out and starting those conversations, that's where you get them beforehand. Not to say that we can't help once it gets to a certain point, because we've got quite a few businesses. They range from in my garage, Etsy store,
Yeah.
E-commerce site, to bigger Sierra Pacific industries, and a lot of them are emerging, and some of them want to stay hidden. They want to stay kind of in their garage. They don't want to get as big as they possibly can. They want to stay where they're comfortable, but that kind of is just that's where you need to focus in, is building those relationships.
And other than maybe being able to pass along generalized information, all the stuff that you talk with businesses, of course, is private and things like that. You don't share any.
Correct.
In case somebody has any concerns about that. Interesting. All right. Very nice. ChooseMason.com's the website. Jennifer's the marketing director. Karen is the business outreach coordinator now.
Correct. Yep.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Yeah, she was in last week. She didn't
Well,
toot her own horn on
she
that.
she doesn't like to kind of self-promote.
Good on her for that one, and good on you. Good putting out the good work here for the EDC. We'll talk next week.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.